5 years ago, only 7 years ago, I was a Windows user, just like most of you. I went through Microsoft living hell, getting hanged on the Windows machine that crashes often. It was bug-ridden all the time, and most of all, it just demands such high-spec hardware.
Yes.
There has to be an end to that madness. So I'm going to share with you today three compelling reasons that is so obvious to most people, and yet they have not made the switch to convert from Windows to a Mac.
Right.
Reason number one, a Mac computer has great user interface. It is so easy to use that if you were to put your laptop to it on a child's lap, a child will figure it out in seconds. It is such a great user interface that it is intuitive. Nobody needs manual.
Let me show you what I mean.
First, I gotta take the Mac.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me show you what I mean.
Okay. But then I should have put up a projector, right?
Yeah, use it.
Okay.
Let me show you what I mean.
Then I got to open Windows as well to make comparison.
Yeah. Mine is open.
Well, I'm gonna open Windows here as well.
You can use yours, or you can use mine.
I got Windows here, right here.
And my one. Huh.
Okay. Let me show you an example. If I were to change the network settings in Windows, you gotta go over here, and then you can see how slow it is. It is so slow that it takes a while before you can do any productive work. And then you see the screen over here. It's trying to show you the list of networks that you have, and this list of networks just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, you go ahead and click Open Network Sharing Center, and then you see the screen over here. And again, it doesn't really mean anything because where's my IP address? How do I change my wireless network? How do I configure my network? So then you go and click on Change Advanced Settings, and then you see this thing over here that talks about network discovery. No, you don't want this. Change your data settings. Go over here, and then there's nothing over there. Then you say Properties, and then you get a screen over here again. Bunch of protocols that I don't want to know anything about. And then you go inside here, and then you say Properties. So I gotta click Properties like 3 times. And then over here, you don't know what's your IP address. Now, compare this to a Mac interface. All you gotta do is go to System Preferences, and then it shows you the network icon. You click on the network icon, and then it shows you Wi-Fi. It shows you the IP address. Here's the thing about Apple that Apple does so well that Microsoft has just totally lost it. User common sense. Okay. Number 2. A Macintosh hardware requires a lot less specifications to run high-end software. Typically, when you run a Windows machine, you're gonna need a lot of RAM because it is so slow that by the time you finish making a coffee and a sandwich, the system has yet to restart. The system has yet to...
The system has yet...
Hang on, there's no right context. The system has yet to finish what it's supposed to do.
Has yet to finish.
Has yet to finish
what it is supposed to do.
What it is supposed to do. Compared to that an Apple machine where you could have a 4 gig.
Stand there. Don't cover the screen.
Oh.
Stand there.
Compare that to an Apple machine where having a 4 gigabyte of RAM is sufficient to do most of the things that you need. on a Windows machine, you need at least 12 gigabytes of RAM to do photo editing. On an Apple machine, on a 4 gigabytes of RAM, you could do video editing. What happened there? It has got a lot to do with the system kernel. Windows was built over the years on top of codes, lots and lots of historical codes. So this caused a lot of problems that they had before, and it brought it forward. Whereas Apple has always been built as a lightweight system. You have an operating system that is built on lightweight kernels, and as they go forward, they shave off a lot of things that they do not need.
That they don't need.
That they don't need.
For example, a typical Windows installation will require
Okay.
200 megabytes.
For example, a typical Windows installation will require a free space of 500 megabytes. Whereas- but on an Apple machine, it only takes 200 megabytes, and it finishes installation within 30 minutes. Compare that to a Windows that you got to stand by for 2 hours, and it requires user input. Apple does all that automatically, and that is a very key point for number 2.
Right.
Okay. Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3. Apple is just
Do you still need the screen?
actually not really.
Okay, if you don't need the screen, then mute. No. How do you? No, that's supposed to be a high tech
Yeah.
way here.
Oh, I just pulled it
It's a
out.
mute
Typically,
one.
just use the
Yeah, no.
very easy, just cover it up. Man.
Okay, what I normally do is I just put on the PowerPoint. Let me show you.
Oh,
Oh, okay, you just get
That is the low tech way lah. That's the low tech way.
you may just open a blank PowerPoint.
You just open the PowerPoint. I don't know if it works here. Okay.
Yeah, just open a
We did ourselves, we did
blank
Okay. Play. Yeah.
PowerPoint. Okay, blank PowerPoint.
Yes.
Like still on the. Let's see, do the-
It's still on, but at least you can stand there now if you want to.
Okay, number 3. Apple does not intrude.
Apple doesn't.
Apple does not intrude when you shut down the computer. How many times has it been that when you're trying to shut down your PC, Windows prompts you for automatic updates? It's like, it's 11 p.m. at night, I'm ready to go back home, I hit the shutdown button, and crap, Windows says it has got 42 updates to install. And you spend the next 30 minutes waiting for installation to complete because there is no way your computer is going to wake up from the dead if you abort installation halfway. And that is delirious. Okay, so
That is just crazy.
that is just crazy. That is the epitome of crazy. The hallmark of human race has fallen down into civilization full of technological overheads that is useless. Let me give you an example of a problem that does not need to be solved, but somehow
It doesn't need to be solved.
let me give you an example of a problem that does not to be solved, and yet someone invented it anyway. What is wrong about pulling tissue papers out from a tissue vending machine in a public restroom? Somehow, somebody figured out that we need to start waving our hands like Harry Potter to get toilet paper out. That's a problem that just doesn't need solutioning. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And you stand there, you start waving at the machine, and somebody stands behind you and say, "Dude, what you trying to do? We're just trying to get some toilet paper." See, there's nothing wrong about pulling the paper out manually. Yet Windows somehow felt that humans are too dumb to realize that they got to install updates, that they got to interrupt you going back home to install updates. Apple doesn't do that. Apple, like a gentleman that they are, would ask you politely, "Hey, I've got an update. Would you like to install it now? Or would you like to do it an hour later? Or would you like me to remind you again tomorrow?" Common sense. Windows lacks common sense. So, as I described to you, these three reasoning why Jeff left Microsoft hell for Steve Jobs heaven. Because Apple does things so much more better in the real sense of betterment of humankind, whereas Microsoft is all about technology, marketing, and making bucks. Apple changed the human race. They did not stop with the iPod.
Okay.
They did not stop with the iPod. They did not stop with the iPhone. But now, but now they've gone into every corner of human technological development by inserting iPads and mobile devices that we all love to use, and it happens naturally without marketing gimmick because it is something that we need. It is something that has been gently pushed to us instead of shoved down our throats like what Microsoft has been doing for the past 20 years. So, therefore, I am hoping that you can see this compelling reasoning why if you switch to Apple today, not only will make your life better, but you're going to start finding that there is a much better world ahead with this generation of product. And as you move along from Windows to Apple, 5 years from now, you're going to be asking yourself, like, God, how did I even use Windows? Like, why do you guys make product like crap? So, how dare you listen? So,
therefore, I hope all of you will be persuaded
to look deep into your soul and ask yourself, do I want to stick with Microsoft that is trying to tell me how to run my computer? Or do I want to move on to Apple that gives me freedom to use technology the way I see it, the way you see it, the way it should be done?
Thank
you very much.